We all enter this world with profound level of innocence. You know, studies are performed on what human beings find attractive. Study after study shows that human beings respond to qualities that they find in children. Large eyes, plump lips, characteristics that are, they're called cherubic. But in essence, what is it? It's not a madness. It's not adults are attracted to children. It's that adults are looking for a catalyst, a gateway to reclaim their innocence. Every child enters this world with a tabula rasa, a blank slate, no impressions whatsoever, no judgments. Two young children sit in a sandbox. They don't look who they're playing with. As long as they play, there is no divisiveness. There is no struggle in the eyes of a child. That's a native essence. It's a natural DNA of a soul. As a child grows, it discovers disillusionment, disappointment, through competition, through clashing agendas. Individuals jock back and forward and jostle to outwill the other, and they grow up in societies with countries that do the same. And it hardens. They say about the individual that doesn't experience this that they are naive. You are not worldly, you are naive. Blessed be the naive. We all are striving to reclaim our naivete. Unfortunately, in this world, we're set up to learn from opposites. We learn often what is sweet by knowing what is sour. We know what is pleasant by knowing what is bitter. Individuals along their journey experience misfortune, difficulties, harshness. Those experiences mold the individual. The individual innately begins to make choices. These are the aspects of myself that are not relevant to the role I'm occupying. And these are the aspects of myself that are relevant. The individual begins to extend the energy of innocence that they have, and they convert it to guilt. And they take the energy of guilt and they press down, submerge aspects of the self that have been deemed inconvenient. And so the individual is not easily able to find rejuvenation and energy in their day-to-day lives. And they find themselves looking for escapism, departure, distraction. They do not want to be reminded of the aspects of self that they have left behind. And they watch entertainment with heroes that gallantly fight for the misfortune that has visited another, to fight for those who have no voice, to fight for the sake of freedom. And they yearn for these icons because they are repressing within themselves what is innocent, what is voiceless. They say that when a victim is victimized by another, on a spiritual level, we never act alone. We're always in partnership with an energy, a holographic intelligence of a theme. We call these angels. Every angel has a theme of truth. Like a chord on a piano. A key, a specific key. It could play the key in higher chords or lower chords, but it cannot play another key. And there are angels on a celestial orchestration, and some are serving in higher notes, and some are serving in darker chords. But we know in spirituality that an individual that is malevolent to another, that is not recognizing the divinity, the sacredness of the individual, of their individual path of another, and how they fit as an irreplaceable part in the Creator's plan. If this individual is of that mindset, then they are partnered with an angel that is from the darker chords of creation. And they are not free. And it is as if they are snake bitten. And they have the venom circulating within their bloodstream. And they feel compelled to injure another, hurt another, deprive another, imprison another. Through guilt, through shame, through hostility, through brute force. The victim then experiences this, and the pain is raw, the betrayal is real, and it is harsh, and it is difficult. But most of all, the victim has received the venom from the oppressor. And the venom surges forward. And the angel that had partnered with the persecutor has transferred his dominion onto the victim. And the victim chooses to lose his innocence. And the victim becomes the next persecutor because they cannot feel. To be spiritually dynamic is to enter a space of complete freedom. If individual is being pushed strongly to the right, then there must be a force where the individual has a catalyst to push himself strongly to the left to reach equilibrium. And it is only from a space of equilibrium that they can make an authentic choice. And it's only from a space of equilibrium that they can be truly spiritual. An individual that has been victimized is either bitter, angry, wants vengeance, or is numb. They harden themselves until they cannot feel. They drown out their pain in the evenings. They are infected. And it's just a matter of time before they are the aggressor. And so it continues. The only way to reverse this process is for the individual to find equilibrium. If they feel compelled to feel anger or pain, then they must push themselves to discover satisfaction and joy. And when they uncover satisfaction and joy, they must revel in it, learn its music, and focus on the oppressor. Teach it to the soul of the oppressor that was victimized to carry a venom onto another. Not to the oppressor's face, but in the dark hours of the night. For if you were to reveal this straight to the oppressor, there would be shame and hierarchy. There would be ego that would defile the expression. What we are talking about is expression of harmony, an expression of light, an expression of joy. An individual that embraces sheer courage to visit with joy and grace upon the souls of those that persecute them. This is an individual of profound courage. As courage is the ability to reclaim renewal, to shine your light, after being scarred with shame, humiliation, difficulties, and defeat. That is true courage. And that is the Creator's light. The Creator's light that turns darkness into light. Because that courage would not have been possible if there had not been that darkness. There had not been that oppression. There had not been that bitterness, that difficulty, that difficult pill to swallow. And so in the magnification of that grace and that joy, in visiting that joy and shining it, allowing it to shimmer in the face of the souls of the oppressors, that is a still yet brighter light than was available originally. And the reason why that light is brighter is because of the context of the contrast. And so because that light is yet brighter, all that went into play into rendering that light brighter is part of the narrative of that brilliant light of the Creator. And so all are sacred. And so when it is achieved, the individual is not merely sovereign in their own right, but begins to ignite the flame of sovereignty for all that have been affected in this world and beyond. I want you to consider this. If you go to a diamond dealer and you say, show me an ideal cut gem, they will show you how many facets they can fit on a gem and how it is geometrically designed specifically with the proper depth of the stem to the table so that the table can draw in as much light and that light could then be reverberated around and around and around from facet to facet to facet, and the stem has just enough depth that looks like a dark pit on the bottom, but it is a cone carrying the resonances which are circling and amplifying to a greater degree than when they entered, only to bounce back when it hits the bottom and shine yet greater through the top of the table of the stone. We are the facets of the Creator's light. Some are the stem. The victim is but a table. It draws the light in. The oppressor is the bottom stem that ties all the facets in its appetite to dominate and have dominion. When we stand as a table of the stone and we draw in the light of creation, the light of grace, of benevolence that is beyond, that is the premise of all of diversity and creation. And we stand with it and we rejoice in it and we bask in it and we release it to reverberate in our world to every facet of truth that is in our midst. And even if we are dealing with a dastardly individual who wishes to dominate off the efforts of others, to discriminate, to hurt, to maim, when it hits that bottom pit of darkness that has leveraged off all the facets around it, and it is able to receive the light that comes through the table of your face, is a face of grace, a countenance of benevolence, of sharing the joy behind it all. That light reverberates through all those facets. And through that very stem, that pit on the bottom, it shoots up yet brighter. It sets the world alight with the clarity of that benevolent stream that was never, ever actualized to that degree before creation had reached this level of complexity. And so one's love is more authentic. One's choice to love is more authentic. One's choice to be in joy is more authentic. And all are one, as all worked in the mechanism together to help render that light a light. And that is what true courage is. That is what it means to be courageous in the light of all.